Welcome to Storytimer. Arletta Sue Remley, Connersville, Indiana, 1970. Arletta Sue White was born September 4th, 1949, to Fern and William White. She had an older sister. Arletta married William Dale Remley in 1968. In 1970, her husband was serving in the Army in Korea, so Arletta was staying at the home of her half-sister, Mrs. Carlos Larson. Arletta Sue Remley left a friend's house on Thursday, October 22nd, 1970, to walk to a nearby shopping center. She intended to buy a pair of pants. She disappeared that evening. Her body was found later in an overgrown orchard in Connersville, Indiana, just west of the Grand View Shopping Center. She was stabbed 12 times in the chest and strangled. She was described as nearly nude. Her underwear was stuffed into her mouth. A shopping bag nearby contained the pants that she went to buy. Since she was taken from a shopping center, it seems like a stranger abduction to me. She might have been forced or coerced into a car. She might also have accepted the offer of a ride. Who was on the loose in 1970? Eugene William Gall was not far away. He was 23 in 1970. Connersville is a town near the Indiana-Ohio border and close to Cincinnati. Gall lived east of Cincinnati, but he committed crimes all over the Cincinnati, Dayton, and Lima area. In 1970, December, he would be arrested for multiple rapes. He had become known as the Friday Night Rapist. He was tried, convicted, and sentenced. He served a few years, but successfully appealed and was set free in the spring of 1977. He went on to abduct and rape many victims after he was set free. He abducted, raped, and murdered Beth Ann Moat on October 1977 and Lisa Jansen in April of 1978. Both were abducted as they walked to school. He took Lisa Jansen from Cincinnati and into Kentucky. The day before he abducted and murdered Lisa Jansen, he forced a group of young teens from a bus stop and into a nearby home. He tied up the teens and the mom who was at home. He raped several of the young women and stole money from the home. He was convicted of these crimes and the crimes of Beth Ann Moat and Lisa Jansen and is currently behind bars in Ohio. I think that investigators should definitely consider him as a suspect in this crime. Think of the boldness of abducting a person off the sidewalk. Now think of the boldness of abducting a group of young teens, boys and girls, off the sidewalk and forcing them into a home, assaulting some of them. Gall is someone who could be capable of the abduction and murder of Arletta Sue Remley in 1970. Larry Ralston also lived nearby in Ohio. He strangled and stabbed many victims. His first known murder was in 1975. He would have been 21 in 1970. He would have been able to drive to Connersville, Indiana. He was convicted of numerous rapes and murders and is currently also incarcerated in Ohio. He could be a suspect in this murder, but his victims tended to be acquaintances. But again, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Another possible killer is Jeffrey Lynn Hand. He abducted, raped, and killed Pamela Milam in Terre Haute in 1972. He's suspected of many other murders. In January 1978, he would abduct a woman from a Kokomo shopping center. She escaped, and Hand was killed in a shootout with police. I do think Eugene William Gall and Jeffrey Lynn Hand are possible suspects that investigators should look at here. Arletta Sue Remley's murder is still unsolved. Rest in peace, Arletta Sue Remley.